Okay, at this point, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna wait on material and enchantment, but I wanted to at least get this part set up. Let's go ahead and create our constructor. And so we're gonna make this public. And we're gonna put item. And let's do a default constructor, just like we did before. And on this, watch what I do. Super. Basically, what this does is this basically invokes or calls the parent class constructor. And then we are going to add a couple more items here, like cost equals 0 and durability equals 0. We're just going to initialize these values, and weight equals 0, kind of like we did in entity. However, we're also going to call it where we can give it all of the values here. So we're going to do one more, public, and then it's going to be item. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get the name, string name, string description, comma, int. Actually, we'll do this on the next line. I'm going to zoom this out a little bit here. We'll do it here. Int cost, int durability, int weight. And now, in order to run the parent constructor, we write super, and then we're going to pass it name and description. Now, let me go back a step here, because did you see what had just happened here? Do that one more time. Super. Notice, there it is. There's no parameters or entity name, entity description. So this is basically calling the constructor for the item. And then this, oh, it didn't. Yeah, okay, never mind. Gonna close that. And then we're gonna go ahead and put cost equals cost, description equals description, and durability equals durability, weight equals weight, like so. And this allows us to get all these. Now, we could call this, instead, we could call it item cost. We'll just go ahead and do it that way. It won't like it, but I'll show you why, or what to do about it. And so now it's cost equals item cost. Oh, I don't need description. Already did that. There we go. All right, and there we have it. Now we have two constructors for our item, one that's default, and it runs the parent constructor. That's what super is about. And then we set cost, durability, weight to just 0. It's initializing it, kind of like empty strings. And then we have a constructor that allows us to pass in all of the information we want, including cost, durability, and weight, and name and description. But we need this because we need this to say, basically, go to entity, which is the parent class, and run entity's constructor. Once we have all that in place, now we can try new ways of doing the weapon. I should probably call it W1. And we'll just go ahead and refactor this that way. And let's go ahead and get rid of this, move this thing 1 over here. Let's go ahead and zoom this out over here. All right, so that's item W1. Now let's do item W2. equals new item. And now we have not only the no parameter version, now we can add a string for the name, description, cost, durability, weight. Okay. Sort of, what should that be? Sort of sleepiness. We'll make it a fluffy sort. And what's the next value we want to give it? We want to give it its cost. We'll say it costs 2. And then we need to get its durability. It can only be used once. So we give it a 1. And the weight, well, it's be 1 as well. And now we have this W2 where watch all the things we can do with it. W2 dot. There we go. We got get description, get name, set description, set name, get cost, get durability, get weight. We can set all of those. All of those now we have available to us. So let's go ahead and add it to our output. All right, so now we've added yet another object, our W2. We'll run it and see how that works. And at this point, you kind of now understand how inheritance works for the most part. There it is. Object, sort of sleepiness, description, a fluffy sort, cost 2, durability 1, weight 1. There we have it. Object, inheritance. Let's just do a quick review of what we did. The main thing here is we add some instance variables that did not exist in the item. And then we create a couple of constructors. In fact, I just decided to open up entity on the left. So notice entity is the base class, and this is the derived class. So item is an entity. Okay, so we add anything, any of our properties, instance variables that are unique to items but not entity. We add them here. We create a constructor. We actually do 2 constructors. And when we create a constructor for a derived class, remember items derived class, when we use the super method, that means call this method right here. So you see that? Super means just call up entity. And we can call it giving it values in here if we want. But we don't have to. If we just do it this way, it just runs the default constructor. And then we can set the remaining fields at 0. They're all integers. We'll deal with our strings for materials and enchantments later. But then we do another method overload for our constructor in our derived class. And in this case, we have item. And then this time we give it the same name and description that we got from entity. So we include those, but then we add an extra 3, item cost, item durability, item weight. We run super, but this time we pass it name and description from the item constructor. So it's doing basically the same thing here. It just means call the parent class constructor. But then we're going to go ahead and set cost, durability, and weight from what the user brings in. And then the rest of these are the getter and setter methods, which we already talked about. And then so we can now create entities and be very specific with them. So in the next tutorial, we'll take a look at, actually, I'm not sure what we'll do now. I think what we'll do is we'll take a look at this idea of material and enchantments. And what we'll do is we're going to create some enumerators for that. And at some point, we need to go into Android Studio and actually take advantage of these classes and these items and do things like have a little shop or something where you can actually get some specific ones. And we'll set the values of various items. And I'll show you how we can do it. It'll be very similar to what we did in main activity. So stay tuned for that.